One of the hardest things for a home cook to do is to entertain people and enjoy the party. So today we're gonna make something super delicious that's also gonna let you enjoy the festivities. We're gonna do a red wine braised pork shoulder with mashed potatoes and garlic lemon asparagus. I'm glad you're here, stay with me. All right, before we get going, I gotta tell you why I chose pork shoulder. One, I found this, I don't know why I keep slapping it. I found this 10.5 pound pork shoulder for about $33. That's about $2.99 a pound. I was looking at beef and I found a 3.5 pound chuck roast that was almost $14 a pound. So it was for 3.5 pounds, it was 50 bucks, or I got 10.5 pounds of pork for $33. Now this does have the bone in, so you got to factor that in, but I don't need this much, so I'm going to half it for this. So that will take us down to about 18 bucks, 17 bucks. We're going to cook this pork much like you would cook a braised beef. We're going to use the carrots and the onions and the thyme, the red wine, and then the most important ingredient that we're going to do, and that most people do not do, is we're going to finish that sauce like a true chef. We're gonna cook like we mean it, and we're gonna finish that sauce. So stay with me, let's get this pork ready, and we'll go to the next step. All right, we got that big pork shoulder broken down. I've got the half here that we're gonna use, and I have vacuum sealed the other half. This is gonna go in the freezer. We'll use it for another time. So that's how we keep things economical, is we look at what is the price per pound, how can we use it over multiple times, and for 4 people, there's gonna be plenty, and we're gonna have a great double date. The first thing we wanna do is we've got to sear the pork. So we're gonna season it up, salt, pepper, garlic powder, that's it. We're gonna give it a nice hard sear. You don't wanna rush this. You wanna get it nice and golden brown on all sides. And then we're gonna do our veg. All right, we've got a ripping hot Dutch oven. Some olive oil is going in. Quite a bit, actually. I like a lot. Sometimes it requires a lot. Big hunk of meat. You wanna make sure you don't rush this process. You want nice and golden brown on all sides of the pork. Just take your time. It's gonna cook for about 3 hours after this. Don't worry about it. The key is we gotta get color on it right now. So just take your time with it. Let it bubble away. Let it do its thing. Be patient, you'll thank me later. Okay, if it doesn't release, it's not ready. So that's not quite releasing yet. You can see I pull it up and it kind of sticks. We're gonna let it go a little longer. So as you're browning your pork, I want you to remember the color is flavor. So when we get this nice char on it, that's just adding a depth of flavor to the braising that we're going to be doing. All right, we've got some great color on this pork. We're going to pull it off, let that guy sit up to the side for a little bit, and we'll get our veg going. I like to do all my vegetables at the same time. We're going to start with our carrots. Just a rustic chop. We don't want to be too uniform. It's not a stew, but it kind of feels like a stew. So just make it however you like it. But this is how I like to do it. I like to have some nice chunks of carrots in there. These will cook for about 3 hours, so they'll be nice and soft. That's that. And for the onions, we're going to chop these really easy. Again, nice rustic chop. Get your Rachel Ray trash bowl or trash area. That didn't want to go. There we go now. I have a trash area. I don't have a trash bowl. Not because I can, it's because I don't want to wash a counter and a bowl. I just would rather just wash a counter. So there we go. That's how it goes. Now get all the skin off. And again, with your onion, you're just going to rough chop. Next thing's next. We'll get our asparagus. I wash them after I break them. You take the asparagus and just wherever it naturally breaks, that's the piece you serve. That's the piece you save for soup. Unfortunately, you can't do them all at once. You can only do them one at a time. So take your time, have a conversation with yourself. We got the asparagus done. Now we're going to go for a bath, and then we're going to do the potatoes. I'm doing mashed potatoes. Sometimes I leave the skin on, but tonight I'm going to do these very silky mashed potatoes, so I'm going to peel them just with the same peeler that you use on any other vegetable. It gets a little tedious, but it's worth the effort, I'm telling you. If you are a chef watching this, you probably are having a heart attack right now going, what is this guy doing? But I just kind of get there and whack away. That's kind of how I do it. I don't have any, when I'm peeling potatoes, I get in my Zen moment and I just kind of whack away at it and get everything off that I want off and move on with my life. I don't really get too precious about it. Just watch your knuckles, watch your fingers. That's all I got to say about that. Peel potatoes at your own risk. You can use whatever tool you've got. I use this because it's a multitasker. And I like multitaskers. I don't like things that do one thing. I like to help the potatoes along a little bit, so I cut them into smaller pieces. We're going to mash them up anyway, but this just helps them cook faster. Same Dutch oven that we seared our pork in, we're going to put our carrots and onions. Don't forget to season every layer. Just salt and pepper, that's all. There's a lot of flavor in this pot right now. We want to make sure we capitalize on it. We'll deglaze it after we get these sauteed off. The liquid in the bottom is a combination of the olive oil, but also the rendered fat from the pork. And as you know, fat is flavor, but it's also a delivery vessel. So we're using the fat right now to kind of sear the vegetables that will give it another layer of flavor. All right, this is where the magic happens. Once you get that going pretty well, we take our red wine. The rule with red wine is don't cook with it if you wouldn't drink it. So this is the wine that we're actually drinking tonight. And we're going to put that in there and deglaze that pan. This is where you want to scrape the fond off the bottom. Get those little bits off the pot. Get it down in the juice. Let this reduce by about half. You can smell that alcohol burning off. It's going to concentrate that flavor. Really get down in there. When that pork hit the pan, it's seared and it puts some nice flavor on the bottom. There's one. But you want to scrape that off as it gets into the red wine. It'll reduce, it'll just add a depth of flavor to the braising liquid. Now we're going to come in with our beef broth. I use beef broth. You could use chicken broth, vegetable broth. I wouldn't recommend using water, but I guess if you were in a pinch. All right, I forgot this step, tomato paste. Ideally, you want to put this in and cook it with the onions and carrots. Since I didn't do that, we've already got the liquid in. We're going to put it in now. It's not going to be too big of a deal, but ideally you want to do it before. You want it to cook to that nice red brick color. We'll get it there. We're going to reduce this pretty significantly, so it'll get there. The flavor won't be too compromised, but again, if you really want to go with what you're supposed to do, put that in with the onions and carrots and let it turn that roasty brick color. We're going to let that just get happy for a minute. We got a nice simmer going on that. We're going to take our thyme, 2 cloves of garlic. This is where I get a little different. 1 teaspoon of miso paste. No, it's not going to taste like miso soup. This is just the umami bomb. If you let that simmer in there, it's just going to bring everything a new level of flavor. Now we're going to bring our pork back in. The whole thing in there. There we go. And that's about how high you want the liquid. You want it about halfway up. Just let it get happy. And now we're going to take this, put the lid on it, put it in the oven for about 3 hours. Always salt the water to an ocean consistency. Our potatoes are fork tender. We're going to pull them out of the bath. We're going to get some salt on them. Pepper. Garlic powder, Parmesan cheese, watch your sister sauce, milk, butter, and our masher. And you just work that around. You don't want these to be too mushy coming out of the water. You want them to have a little bit of texture to them, and we'll just work them around and let them keep cooking in the bowl. Melt that butter. Smells great already. We're going to puree these in a minute, so you just kind of want to get a basic mash. You just don't want big chunks before you put the boat motor in there. Now let's go in with the heavy machinery. If you find the texture is too tight, just put a little more milk in there. Don't add too much at a time, just go little by little till you get the consistency you want. I'm really going for a puree, so a little bit loose. Give it a taste to make sure your seasoning's right. More salt. That's really good. So we kind of extract the carrots and onions. Of course, the thyme is coming out of there. We're not throwing the carrots and onions away, we're just taking them out of the sauce. This sauce looks silky, thick, and delicious, but we are not done with it yet. All right, this is where people go wrong. They don't finish the sauce. They just take this and that's the sauce as it is, but we got to finish it. We got to amp it up a little bit. So we've got our sauce back over low heat. We're going to put a knob of butter in there. Like I always say, you finish with acid, so we're going to take our aged cherry vinegar. This is where we put that on it. That's just going to make that sauce just pop even more. Just let that simmer just a little bit. It's already nice and silky. And that's what we're going to ladle right over the pork and mashed potatoes. That looks delicious. This would easily cost you $35 in a restaurant, easily. And we've let this pork rest just a little bit. You can shred it. It's going to be pretty tender and pretty juicy. You can see that. I like to just chop it. I'm a barbecue guy, so chopping is kind of the way it goes, but I just want to get into smaller chunks. This is super tender. I don't really want it like disintegrating. So like the fall off the bone kind of mentality is not really what you want to go for. You want it to kind of feel like meat, to taste like meat, and have that texture. But you do want it to be tender, and that sauce is going to make it even more so. And then once I get it broken up kind of like that, then I'll just take these big pieces and just kind of chop them up. And just like barbecue, like the fat mixed in with the meat is what gives it its flavor. So you don't want to have like a big bite of fat or a bite of meat that has no fat with it. You want to kind of have a combination. So chopping it up is kind of what works for me. If shredding it works for you, go for it. I kind of build it from like a deconstructed kind of phase where we take the pork, put on the potatoes, take a little veg, put on there, finish it up with the sauce, but finish it properly with the sauce. And try to make a mess if you can. We got our pork out. Let's put the asparagus in. This cooks really fast, so put a lot of olive oil. Let it come up to temp. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon in that olive oil. We'll do a little more on top once it's done. Take our clean asparagus right down there, just like that. Season with salt and pepper. Want your pan nice and hot. We're going to let that hang out for about 2 minutes. We'll add the garlic next. All right, once we get that sort of smoke point with our oil, we're going to put our garlic in there. Just nice thin slices of garlic. I'm going to top it with just a little more olive oil. And we'll finish that with a squeeze of lemon. Because if you follow me at all, you know that you finish with acid. Start with salt, finish with acid. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to utilize the residual heat. So this is going pretty well. The pan's going to keep heat, so I'm going to turn the heat off, take it off the heat, but leave it in the pan for probably 3 or 4 more minutes. And that'll finish up the cook on the asparagus. You want some nice crunch out of this. You don't want it to be soggy. You don't want it to be burnt. Okay, let's plate this up. We're going to start with our mashed potatoes right down in the middle. Look at that cheese. That's what you want. And make a mess if you can. That's what I like to do. Make a nice bed for that pork. Get in there, cheese. We're going to take a nice portion of pork right there in the middle. This pork is so tender. This is not your mama's barbecue, I'll tell you that. Don't forget those veg, the onions and carrots. We're just going to use that kind of like a garnish. Like it's not really a vegetable, it's just a garnish on there. Nice and stewed. On the side, we're going to put that garlic lemon asparagus. I don't really get too precious about how it goes on. I just want it right there on the side. And then the thing that we really spent the most time on is this sauce. So that's kind of what it's going to go on. If you know anything about what I do, sauce is greater than recipe. This sauce will save all your mistakes. Anything that you feel like you messed up on, this sauce is going to save it. Right over top of the pork, it's going to just apron down right on the mashed potatoes. That's just a little kiss from heaven. That's all it is. I'm going to top it with some chives. There you go. There's your red wine braised pork shoulder, your lemon garlic asparagus, and your Parmesan mashed potatoes with that excellent, excellent sauce. If your biggest problem is that you cook and you never enjoy the party, this is a recipe for you. Today we're doing a $20 double date. This is our red wine braised pork shoulder with Parmesan mashed potatoes and lemon garlic asparagus. This is going to keep you out of the kitchen and in the festivities, but still deliver that delicious flavor you want for your guests. This is going to be delicious and it's going to please the whole crowd.
Bingo.